Be honest. How many times have you been stuck between two choices, not knowing which one to take? Whether it's your career, whether it's your business, or whether it is whatever in life, there are always choices, and the ability to make the right decisions and the right choices every single time is a quality that differentiates winners from losers. So, today we will look at the greatest battle that ever happened in the history of mankind, that is the Battle of Kurukshetra. And we will look at perhaps the greatest wisdom that there is on the planet, that is the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, to understand what is a right decision and how to take the right decision every single time. Yes, Bhagavad Gita is not just about war, or it is not just about spirituality also. Bhagavad Gita is about clarity. It is about getting clear on all aspects of reality, getting clear on who you are, getting clear on what is your role or what is your swadharma, your purpose in this world, and getting clear on what choices to make and how to decide whether to move in direction 1 or direction 2. When we look at the battle of Kurukshetra, before Sri Krishna started expounding the wisdom of Gita on Arjuna, Arjuna was stuck. He could not make a choice on whether to fight and whether to wage the war against his cousins, against his teachers and uncles, or whether to give up, choose the path of non-violence and give up his throne and the opportunity to lead and win the war. Now, at that point in time, Arjuna didn't lack skills or even strategy, because Arjuna was one of the greatest warriors in the world. Shri Krishna knew this. So, skills or strength or strategy was not his weakness. He also didn't lack empathy. He was very emotional. He was considering how this war can affect the enemies also, and how thousands will lose their lives. So, his IQ was high, his EQ, the emotional quotient, was also high. But there is a third factor that the modern world is missing today. That is what we call consciousness quotient at Adhvaitha Conscious Society. And whenever a professional or entrepreneur joins us at ACS, that is what we optimize for. Not IQ, not EQ, but CQ. So consciousness quotient is what we focus at ACS, and that is what we must actually master in order to master life itself. Not just to achieve success and money and so on, but to master life and to achieve purpose, fulfillment and contribution, to know what we are actually supposed to do in this world. And there are 3 steps that I want to cover here in this video. Step 1, Krishna helps Arjuna to move beyond his small I, the ego, and he helps him expand his awareness and helps him understand his nature beyond the body and mind. Krishna actually starts by telling Arjuna that you and I were always there. What you do today in this war will actually not matter. You are just a pawn, you are nimitta. Whatever has to happen will happen. When you do it with that reverence and when you do it with that level of surrender, that is when you begin to go beyond your limited identifications. So that is step 1, which is about going beyond the identity of body and mind and understanding ourselves as something beyond that, as that infinite consciousness. After that comes step 2, which is about finding our place in this world. It is about finding our swadharma. When it comes to dharma, there are 3 pillars that I want to cover. One is morality. We need to take care of the moral obligations. When we discuss this, sometimes there are certain religions and certain spiritual disciplines which talk about non-violence being the most important and the most significant philosophy. But Bhagavad Gita looks at this very differently. Krishna encourages Arjuna to fight because he understands a deeper law. That is the law of dharma, the law of morality. When the war is between the right and wrong, we need to choose and we need to fight for what's right, even if it is uncomfortable and even if it is difficult. So, taking care of the moral obligations and the morality of things is one aspect of dharma. After that comes responsibility. Each of us have responsibilities as a professional, as an entrepreneur, as a parent, as a spouse. Like this, we have certain things that we need to take care of in order to live in the right way. So, taking care of the responsibilities of things and not running away from our responsibility is another thing. Here, Arjuna was a warrior and he was supposed to protect the people who stood with him, and he was supposed to fight for righteousness. It was his responsibility. After that comes purpose or swadharma. It is about what we are supposed to do in this world. It is extremely relevant today in this modern world where everything is based on outcomes and superficial conditioning. People are choosing careers and the businesses they wish to take on just through conditioning. This is why many are not able to find that alignment and purpose and meaning and fulfillment. So, understanding our innate strengths and what we are here to do exactly, that is our swadharma or purpose. So, these three things are what constitute dharma. Now, from this, let's come to step 3, the final step, which is about surrender. Shri Krishna says, Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Right? You have the right to perform your duty alone, not to the fruits of your action, which is a very profound statement where Shri Krishna tells Arjuna that you need to learn to detach yourself from the outcomes of your action. That is when you can live a life of freedom and fulfillment. And not just that, when you surrender your will to that divine intelligence, to God or whatever we wish to call it, we begin to manifest the life from that infinite intelligence. That infinite will take care of bringing in the right outcomes for our life. So, this surrender is a very, very profound and the final step which we have to take in order to make the decisions in the right way. So, step 1 is about not just thinking from a limited perspective of the ego, but from a higher perspective. This is where we need to cultivate self-awareness and meditation, and we need to go beyond the bodily identification. Then comes step 2, where we understand dharma, what is right, what is wrong, what is my responsibility, and what is my purpose, what is my unique strengths and my weaknesses, and what am I supposed to do in this world. And then comes step 3, which is about surrender, where we surrender the outcomes and take decisions just based on what is right for the world, what is right for us, and what intuitively feels right. Like this, when Shri Krishna completes the Gita and he completes his expounding of the Gita to Arjuna, he is absolutely clear now. He becomes absolutely clear on what steps he need to take next, and he goes about doing things in the right way, and the outcome of this is available for us to see. So it is just about being aware, and it is about working on our consciousness quotient beyond IQ and EQ. I hope this was valuable, and next you can check out this important video that we had made on conscious creation, through which you can master your CQ and get to your ideal life in a matter of years instead of decades. Subscribe to Adhvaitha to wake up. Shivoham.